Hello, everyone. I just noticed on StreamYard, if you don't pay for use of StreamYard, your video is over a year old, you can lose. You know what? It doesn't matter. Most people aren't looking at videos that are over a year old. Tell you, 2025, I don't know if anybody's in the numbers. Okay, the year 2025 is really a phenomenal number. The year 2025 is a perfect square, specifically 45 squared. 45 times 45 equals 2025. It has interesting mathematical properties like the sum of the cubes of the first nine integers. If you take 1 to the third power, 2 to the third power, all the way up to the 9 of the third power and add it up, it comes out to 2025. Isn't that amazing? It's equal to the sum of the cubes of the first five integers. It's a Harshad number. 2025 is divisible by the sum of the digits 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9 divided by 9 equals 225. When 2025 is split into 20 and 25, their sum is 20 plus 25 equals 45. Squared equals 2025. Sum of the odd numbers. 2025 is also the sum of the first 45 odd numbers. I find that absolutely fascinating. I wonder if I think nobody I know that I care for is going live tonight. Believe me, there's a lot of people I don't care for. I'm a perfectionist. I think most people are watching what's going on in LA. And if nobody shows up in chat, I guess I'll have to shut it down. Oh well. I got to hit the thing about comments, I guess. Yeah, I'm just an amateur doing this. Does anyone have any concerns about tomorrow? I think anyone that registers on that No Kings website is asking for it. I also saw that there's going to be Stingray drones tapping in to what's going on. They're going to, if people are using cell phones, they're going to find whose cell phone it is. I find this whole thing fascinating. My best advice to anyone on the left, not that they're going to watch my channel or take my advice, is to stay home. Well, this past week they started. Okay, when I was a kid, my wife were a kid, the big event right after school was over was going to the Lower Providence Fireman's Fair. I asked my wife, I've asked her this for several years, you want to go to the fair? And she has no interest in it at all. I mean, it's more nostalgia. You know, people in our age group aren't going to get on these rides that could be dangerous. But I think the best thing is for people just to stay home. Let me just make sure this is showing up on YouTube. This pre-Civil War computer can only handle so many windows being open. Well, yesterday when I came in from work, Google said it was 94 in college, but I don't know if it really was. And the fumes of moving them in nowhere kind of got to me. Come on, YouTube, cooperate. Okay, I want to see if this is on YouTube. Okay, YouTube says 5 people are watching. Hey, what's up, Steph Richard? Hey, how's the arc going, by the way? Actually, we've had like 7 inches of rainfall since the 9th of May, and we need more rain. Hey, the fact that it got hot here yesterday, the soil dried out pretty quickly. Would you want to come on the show, Steph Richard? I could put the link in chat. Be nice to see you face to face. Let me see if I copy this. I thought some of the people I know would be doing live streams tonight. I think Bushcraft was probably tired from working, and hopefully 101 goes live tomorrow night. Yeah, I put that there. Hey, 420 Wild Dragon. I'm gonna go to the YouTube page. Yeah, I put that in. I put that. And see if it dropped over there. Yeah, I'm just hanging out tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow our son's coming to visit before he goes on tour again. Yeah, I did put that in YouTube. Stiff Richard, have you ever been on anybody's show before? Hey, what's
Hello.
up?
Let me see if I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hey,
What's going on, man? Good to see you.
I'm just laying low. It's gonna rain here tonight and tomorrow. So, whoa. So I probably won't. Oh, I lost you. It's gonna rain tonight and tomorrow, and I'm disappointed I can't get any work done. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
what do you? Have you ever been on live stream before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I go on a couple of different channels.
What channels? Maybe I like them.
Well, one of them's kind of like, how do I say it? It's you would not like them. I can just tell you. One of them's just like a troll group, and all they do is bitch, moan, and groan. and um, uh, and then I'm admin for like um, a couple of live poker channels and stuff like that. So I don't
I,
know if that's your not your bag. Huh?
you any good at playing cards?
Oh yeah, yeah. I play a lot of cards.
When I was a teenager, okay, I have two older sisters.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a teenager, my father was really into pinochle and bridge, and we would take turns. When one of my sisters would visit with her then it was her boyfriend then. My father and I would team up, and we would play bridge or we would play pinochle. And because hey, be charming, and because my father was, the adult, and I was still a kid, if we got if we won the hand, I'd have to be the dummy. And my father would play my hand of cards.
Right.
You,
Okay. Hey, I can't see you now. Hold on. How do I get it? If I lose you, I'll come right back in. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
okay.
Hold on.
Like my camera's real bright. Not sure why. I'm glad to meet Steph Richard. I've never seen him before. Hey, Mary Freeland, what's up? Is anybody worried about tomorrow? Let's see. He's
Messing with things. I'll
can you
keep messing with things. Sorry.
can you
How
see
about
me
you?
now?
Yeah, I can see you. I can't see chat at all.
Okay, you'd have to hit comments on the right of the screen. You see that, Richard?
No, I'm not seeing it. It's down at the bottom. I've got chat, I've got Cam, I've got Mike, and more.
You don't see that chat on the right side of the window. It says comments.
Not on my phone. It doesn't.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Yeah, that's it. Bill. There's Bill Cat.
I think it's Highland Qualts and Dean Lindsay.
Yeah. But
30
anyways,
miles out of Chicago, Dean. I'm 25 miles from Philly. I'm just waiting it's like I'm waiting to see what happens. And Philadelphia has a new mayor, and I don't think she's going to put up with too much nonsense. But the big problem in Philly is we have a George Soros DA, Larry Krasner, and he's
okay.
already said that if people get arrested, he's going to dismiss the charge, drop the charges.
Yeah, they're gonna have to start doing stuff with these people that are interfering with this. They really have to. This is getting out of hand. I mean, they're supposed to have a protest here in Oklahoma City, but there's a list out where you can pull up those cities. Um,
Yeah, I saw that I found the website from another forum.
you need to share that with everybody. But here's something that's really weird. So you've got Oklahoma City and Tulsa, okay? And Tulsa is really although Oklahoma is the reddest state in the nation, that they say, but Tulsa is more liberal than Oklahoma City. Now we have a Democratic mayor of Oklahoma City. Um, in our last go around, what was it? I guess in 2020 we had a whatever they're trying to pull their shit. But anyways, my point I'm trying to make is they're not doing it in Tulsa. They're doing it in Oklahoma City and a small town of 16,000 people, Ada, Oklahoma. Now that's where all the tribal hospitals are for the Indians. So, I mean, they kind of lean left, and that's the only thing I can come up with. I'm really, it's kind of disturbing that you're going to do it in a little town like that. But I can say this much: if they act up in Ada, yeah, they're going to get escorted out pretty quick. People won't put up that shit here.
I think it's a small. The Indians are good people, actually.
Yeah.
I have a niece that's married to a woman that's I'm trying to think. She's not Cherokee. It's another tribe, and she grew up in Oklahoma. And she was saying the Indians take care of the elderly.
Yeah, they really do. I'm Irish, English, and Cherokee, and Choctaw.
And that's the last one he said. That's what she is. Choctaw.
Yeah. You got Choctaw. Choctaw Nation is really the biggest tribe in Oklahoma, and then you got Cherokee behind that. So, but Choctaw is really the ones that are in control of most of the casinos here.
Yeah, because she mentioned the casino. She said that they do some farming. She was saying when some people get too old to go out and go to the store, other people from the tribe pick up their groceries, even mow their yard free of charge. And the thing is, that's the way it was before we had all these government programs. Families and friends took care of each other.
Right. I mean, and I'm not bragging. I mean, but like my family, I mean, there's never anybody on welfare, at all. And,
Same here.
Quite a large family, and we kind of took care of our own family, So I come from a big farming community. I mean, I live in Mustang, and I live on an acreage here, but I really don't. I grow a little weed, and that's about it. But my grandparents, I mean, my granddad had a 3,000 acre, we call it a ranch, farm, whatever. But he grew, he raised cattle, and he grew up a 5 acre garden and sold all his produce to some of the local grocery stores. And but yeah, that's who I come from. But born, raised hunting and fishing. And Craig keeps thinking I'm from Australia. I think he's just jacking with me really more than anything. But that Johnny guy, he's a friend from mine from Australia. Him and that 10 TV gal, they got a knockdown drag out in the Discord.
Oh, you mean Mark B?
Huh?
The guy from Australia is Mark B.
Yeah, but no, Johnny is my friend, and so when they were going to do it, I'm sorry we couldn't air that out because I really had a lot to say. But we were going to do the trial thing and everything like that. And what's his name? Was going to be my attorney.
I didn't know there was a Discord group that Tim had.
Yeah, it was before. Yeah, but she had a Discord group before I even ran on to y'all on Craig. Like Craig, I could go over there. I never have been like attacking or whatever such Jeff B. Now I've trolled Jeff B since he was on the Frogs Network, and I've never been totally mean to him, but I'm pretty direct with him. But I followed him around and bounced him off a couple of channels, and then to find him over there, I go, oh my Lord, here we go again. But I was never saying anything out of bounds for that one girl to like kick me out or time me out or whatever. That one, what's her name? Jessica, or I can't remember. My Lyme's brain, dude. That Lyme disease has got me. I'm coming out of this full moon. It really acts up, and I was almost hesitant to come up today, Jim, because I've had a really rough ride here this last weekend or the last few days. So
you didn't lose your hearing from Lyme disease, did you?
I've had some hearing impairment, but I used ivermectin. I don't know if you want me to talk about this, but I've treated my Lyme's with ivermectin and benzonol. And I took that liquid ivermectin and put it on the Q-tip and cleaned my ear out with it. I was having problems with it. And the ringing got so loud that, I mean, I just literally could not hear anything out of the left ear other than the ringing. So
Well, I have nothing against ivermectin. It's in the dog's heartworm preventative medicine.
It's
'Cause
in ivermectin's in everything. Like your flea and tick collars, it's in the collars, man. That's the
the
key
thing
ingredient.
is, you could go to Mexico or any country in Africa and buy without a prescription. And the thing is, okay, when Prepping 101 started his channel, right after Joe Biden was inaugurated, Jeff B
Yeah,
was on there all the time, and Jeff B was saying he had all this inside knowledge.
he does.
Biden was going to be arrested. I didn't believe it at all. I mean,
Jeff B. Listen,
there's
he's protecting the president. He in the 2016 election, he was traveling via for Trump down to Arizona to get the ballots and take them back to Mar-a-Lago for Trump. I mean, he's just an idiot, man. He's outlandish is the word. Okay. He's outlandish, and everything he's ever said just been a total lie. Like
That's what I thought. Then there's other people that went on people's channels and claimed they had inside knowledge, military experience, and I didn't believe these people. One thing, I think everybody has gifts. I think I have good foresight.
Yeah.
Some people just don't. I mean, if all of us had hindsight, we would have made better decisions when it came to a lot of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. At my age now, like I said, I call it the way I see it all the time. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. I mean,
what kind of are you?
What's going on? Sorry, Jim, but what's going on with like Jeff B out here saying all this outlandish cutard nonsense is that you do get people believing him, and
No.
and then you start acting up like they're doing in L.A. Okay, that's where all this crap stems from. All of it. It's just that behavior. All right, Bill. Hold on, I gotta let my cat out.
Are you retired? I mean, are you able to do any work or?
No, Bill, where are you at? No, no, I'm on SSI, man. I've had Lyme disease for 21 years now, and believe it or not, I've got so many wins against Lyme. I was in a wheelchair at one point, for I don't know, 6 months. Just my legs weren't there. I mean, I've got so many wins against the disease, but now my chief complaint is, of course, I get brain fog really bad sometimes, but it's chronic fatigue and literally air hunger at times, where I can't walk to the mailbox and back.
I know people that have suffered from that too. It's a shame.
Yeah. And I'm just telling you, well, the shame is it's a bioweapon. Okay. That's the shame of it. I can go back to history all the way, back to Plum's Island when it escaped or got loose from Plum's Island.
Outside of New York City. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, there's whole history, but our government, it's a biological weapon that our government developed, and they sprayed it in Vietnam. They sprayed it over in Cuba. I can't remember. They sprayed it on the sugarcane fields over there. And then they sprayed it again in Vietnam in the Cambodian War. And, our guys, it's just, and then honestly, they sprayed it all over Georgia. So that's documented. So they sprayed it on us. And then, they're saying it's only up in, the problem here in Oklahoma is we don't have a Lyme's literate doctor. Like, we don't have any. You got them all over the East Coast, but not here.
Yeah, my state of Pennsylvania it's the worst for tick problems. Actually, I found a tick on me after dinner. I find more ticks on me than on my dog.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Jim, you need to be on a steady dose of ivermectin. Now we talk about the horse face all you want, but now they've got it out. They've got a capsule out that you can get. In certain states, you can get it over the counter now. Okay, like Arkansas. I mean, you can go over and get ivermectin, fenbendazole, and all this stuff over the counter without a prescription in human form in capsule. And they've got a 50% fenbendazole and 50% ivermectin capsule that I'm looking into. But I mean, I've been on ivermectin horse face before COVID broke. I was using it as onto a protocol, part of my protocol from this guy named Will Wigman, the he was like, remember the movie Good Will Hunting with
Yep.
Robin Williams and Matt Damon? That Will Wigman that Matt Damon portrayed or Will that Matt Damon portrayed is Will Wigman in real life, and he had Lyme, and he came up with a protocol, and man, that's the best I've ever done. Now he's since passed. We lost him last year, but he was such great help, man. But
they'll never legalize it in my state. Do you have a Republican governor in your state?
oh, we're a red state. Yeah, we're red through and through. Yeah, we're red.
We have Josh Shapiro, and they want to pass a law. They want to have a state gun registry, just to know who has a gun. Isn't that pathetic?
Yeah, it's pathetic. I mean, yeah, they should already have the registry when you buy the gun. Okay, now guns that aren't we buy. If I buy a gun from you, I'm not registering it. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's just they should already have the registry. But what I'm starting to get at is, Jim, you really need to get on some ivermectin. The bottom line is it's a 50-50 shot if you don't get Lyme from every tick bite. I mean, you're rolling the dice. And it's not just ticks. Excuse me.
Like I'll find them, like I found one, it wasn't attached to me. When I was outside working the other day, I saw ticks crawling on my pant legs. You know what I did? The sun was out. It was like in the low 90s here. I put them on the hood of the truck, and those little ticks are running around. They got off and they died because they couldn't take the heat.
Wow. Well, it's not just ticks, Jim. It's anything that bites you anymore. Spiders, fleas, horse flies are the worst offenders. Fleas, ticks, spiders, chiggers, basically anything that's biting you for your blood now is carrying a Lyme or a co-infection of Lyme. And to be honest with you, I use Lyme as speaking as with a broad brush, painting with a broad brush. It's really, Lyme is not really the problem. It's the co-infections like the Bartonella babesia, the Epstein-Barr, the Rocky Mountain spotted tick fever. Those are the Lyme's treatable. It's the co-infections that aren't, and the testing. It's in the testing. They got a Western blot test they use, for example. So I go get a Western blot. When you get bit, you don't produce the antibodies to test positive because the Lyme or co-infections shut down that production. So we don't have antibodies to test. It's an antibody test. So so even on the CDC's website, they state that they miss 6 out of 10 tested, and they claim that there's 880,000 new cases of Lyme in the United States each year. Well, if you miss 6 out of 10 tested, don't you multiply that by 6?
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of people could test false when they have it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I have the whole time. It wasn't until I got bit by another tick that I got Rocky Mountain spotted tick fever did I test positive for anything. And I'd had Lyme disease. I got bit in 2005. Okay. So, and then it took me 8 years to figure out, to not figure it out, but to get some idea that it was Lyme. And the funny thing about it was I had a houseboat at a lake down the road from us, and a buddy and I were out picking morel mushrooms, and it was a warm spring day. We had our shirts off and everything. And like I said, I was raised in the woods, man. I've been bit by ticks and everything else all my life.
Well, the funny thing is 30 years ago,
the
tick problem wasn't as bad. You know what's made it so bad in southeastern Pennsylvania? All these freaking deer.
Yeah, deer. Yeah.
It's
I know.
deer. And
I know your dilemma with deer, bud. Oh man, I can't imagine. I'm a big deer hunter too.
Well, the thing I'm seeing, I just started seeing deer out here about 2 weeks ago. I'm not shooting any now because they're not doing any damage.
Right.
But 30 years ago, if somebody got a buck with archery or shotgun, you had to respect them because you didn't see many deer. Well, not 30 years ago, let's say in the 80s. Then around 1995, I'll tell you a story. The Game Commission has done infrared aerial photography. Just since 1990, the deer population is more than tripled. And people want to blame it, all the new hounds are pushing them out. It has
No.
nothing to do with it. It's the liberals because there's not enough people going hunting. And PETA buys most of the doe tags every year.
Who does?
PETA,
PETA buys up the deer tags. I'd never even heard of that.
the
Wow.
doe tags. Actually,
Wow.
if someone can't get a doe tag, they can contact the game commission and they can meet their local game warden, and he can sell them, issue them a doe tag.
Wow, man. Isn't
You know,
that just sorry? That's sorry as hell. Well, I think there's a generation, or we're losing, or we've lost generational hunting. My grandfather taught me how to hunt. My dad taught me how to hunt. I mean, I'm a big duck hunter. It's probably my favorite thing to do. But yeah, we're losing generations of hunters. I mean, it's really important to me. I had to have a daughter, and it's really important to me to introduce her to everything I knew, and that included hunting and all that it entails. But not a lot of people are doing that yet. I mean, there's more of it that happens here in Oklahoma, I guess, maybe than elsewhere. But yeah, we're losing hunters, man, and the fact that they're the reason why we're buying deer tags, part of that money is supposed to go to managing the herd, and they're not even doing that.
I'll tell you, my dad was born in 1924.
Yeah.
When he went to school, when kids were old enough to hunt, kids took shotguns on the school bus because he went to the Collegeville Trap High School before they had like one high school for the whole school district because we're different. And you couldn't do that nowadays. If a kid takes a gun to school, everybody knows what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, when I graduated in 1981, I'm 62, and I went to. We used to go, excuse me, duck hunting before we went to school. So we'd get up early, go duck hunting, and so I had a shotgun and a rifle hanging in my back window. Never once did anybody steal my guns, break into my truck, or anything. And that's why we went to school. I would bring a change of clothes, change out of my camo in the bathroom, and go to class. And so, I mean, yeah. Here's a great story. So, talking about our freedoms changing, I think I wasn't driving yet. I hadn't been on a goose hunt, and in Tishomingo, Oklahoma, they have a big refuge there, and so you can buy the way you do it. They would sell you 3 still shot shells, and from 20 gauge, 12 gauge up, or excuse me, from 20 gauge to 12 gauge, whatever you're shooting. But this is before still shot was mandatory for waterfowl, and so you got 3 shells. So you got 3 shots only. But here's my freedom story. So I always mowed yards. I mean, I trapped. As a kid, I mean, I grew up trapping on our family ranch down there in Holdenville, and I would make $2,000 to $3,000 a year trapping as a kid, and that buys a lot of soda pop and all the candy you wanted, anyways. But I'd save my money, so I asked my mom if I could go with my next door neighbors, my best friend to this day, David Huffman. Anyways, asked if I could go on this goose hunt, but I didn't have a goose gun. I only had a 20 gauge improved cylinder Remington 870 pump, and so I went to TGNY. I don't know if y'all had those up there or not, but
no, not around here.
Yeah, TGNY, Otasco, all those old stores, but TGNY was kind of like the Walmart of the time, and you could go in there and buy anything. And so and again, I'm like, Bill, stop that right now.
So I have a Remington 870, but with a 12 gauge.
Yeah. But I had a double barrel Fox 410 shotgun, so I grew up shooting, or learned to shoot on, and then I got a 20 gauge. But anyway, so I had my mom. She said it's okay for me to go, so I had my mom drive me to TGNY, and it's literally 8 o'clock, and they close at 9 o'clock. And I'm leaving hunt to go. We have to get up. We leave at 3:30 to drive down to Tishomingo to get all rigged up. So I walk in there by myself without my mother. She lets me out. I run in there, run back to Sporting Goods. I said, I want that Stephen Savage bolt action 12 gauge long tom shotgun. I think it was think it was a 36-inch barrel. No, 36 or 42. I can't
That's
remember.
long.
The thing was taller than I was, dude.
That's more of a bird
Really?
cut.
Huh?
Actually, Remington found the best barrel for a rifled slug with a modified choke is a 20-inch.
Yeah, for a slug, but no, this is a goose gun. We're
Yeah,
talking still.
because you're using pellets. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, still shot. Yeah, yeah. So it'd be the equivalent of like a triple BB, but
Mhm.
yeah, but and so the point I'm trying to really drive at. I mean, I don't have an ID yet. I don't have a driver's license yet. But yet, my mom dropped me off at the front door, and I went and bought that 12 gauge shotgun. Got out the door before it closed. The whole thing, probably took me, I don't know, less than 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'm off to the races. You can't do that. I mean, that's what freedom really looked like.
Well, I remember looking at an old Sears catalog online, and it said he had to be an adult, or it was Montgomery Ward, where people could order a gun from a catalog.
That's Sears catalog, man. You
I think,
bet.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can
yeah. I
still
mean,
find those on the internet, copies of those things.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, we like we're slowly losing our freedoms. But
Yeah.
uh, I want to understand, and for the life of me, I can't. What changed? Something changed in society that I can't go to school with my gun hanging in my back window. I can't go and buy a shotgun because I want to go hunting. Uh, without having the government, I could, because I was leaving the next morning, so I bought it the night before. That night before, I wouldn't have got to go in today's day and time. If I
It's a
didn't,
liberal mindset. I personally think some of the certain people got to some of these people with mental problems and put them
yeah,
up to doing shootings, and then
well,
dissuade people against guns.
something happened, and so that was obviously in the 70s, and so something happened after, and I graduated 81, so something happened or was happening. Something happened in society that we had a total shift in simple freedom, you know, basic freedoms back then. Something, and I can't, for the life of me, I think about it all the time, and I can't put my finger on it, man.
But look at it like this. If you look at the history of this country,
Yeah,
when the Revolutionary War broke out, most of the people that lived in Philadelphia and New York City, they didn't even own any firearms. The people that owned the firearms were the farmers and the hunters
yeah,
and the trappers. And you figure the farmers, even though they had livestock, they had guns to hunt for food with,
right,
because some of the livestock wasn't just meant for for meat. Having cows for milk, having
right,
chickens for eggs.
right.
There's always been even the original colonists. Some of them had an anti-gun sentiment that came from Great Britain, and and the thing is that the fact that so many people live in the city, and you figure where are all these mass shootings? Where are a lot of these shootings going on? In the cities, every day somebody in Philadelphia and
Right.
its kids are being shot. It
Yeah,
amazes me how the people in the city are against firearms, but the people
right.
doing the violence are the people living in the city.
Right. Yeah, they can outlaw the firearms all they want. I mean, the criminals are always going to have them, and that's the big statement. But in society, something happened. Maybe it was drugs. Maybe I mean, I don't know. But there was a definite shift, and it happened. Again, I think in the 80s, and I just can't put my finger on what the shift was.
We figure in the 70s and 80s they didn't hear of these mass shootings going on like what's going on today.
Well, no, I don't know. There's something that happened though, and for life, I'm very interested in really kind of researching it. I would really kind of like to have the finger on the pulse or understand that more better. But there was something, and I mean, I just totally, I can't figure it out.
Well, part of it's video games. You figure what when I was a kid, well, I lived on a road that was really rural. There weren't any boys my age. When I went to visit, my mother would take me to visit a friend. We would go into the woods and take sticks and we'd play army.
Right?
Okay, kids in the city can't play army right now. I don't know what kids in the city play.
No, yeah. No, it sucks, man. Yeah, I mean, think about all the stuff we grew up. I mean, that's what I did when I was in my grade school. I mean, I went to used to go to the Army surplus store to get Army helmets. You know, like we played Army. We had forts. You know,
Yeah, we
and
made forts and trees or in the woods. I remember one year for Christmas, I was probably in second grade.
yeah,
My parents got me a machine gun that made sounds, a toy machine gun. I don't
yeah,
think
I had one. Yeah, I had one. Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it broke. It eventually broke. I don't think you can even buy those anymore for a kid.
You can't, dude. And if you find them online, they're going to be worth some big bucks. I ran into these kids. It gives me kind of hope. These kids are hustlers, man. But they sat down next to me. I went to the casino about 3 weeks ago, and that's the first time I've been out of the house, like out away from my home, in almost a year. So yeah, and so I ran into these kids, and they're probably in their 23, 24 years old, maybe 25. Um, but they buy and sell. I was wearing a Tesla concert T-shirt, and that's what struck the conversation up. You know, a kid liked my shirt. He goes, "You want to sell it?" I go, "What?" I said, "What do you what do you mean? You're going to buy it off my back?" You know? He's laughing. He goes, "I would, and you'd let me." And I said, "Well, what are you going to give me for it?" He goes, "I'll give you $100 for it right now." I said, "Are you kidding me?" So these kids are, and I have blue jeans. I heard you talking about blue jeans the other day over the other channel, and I've got blue jeans still, like from like seventh, eighth, ninth grade, and he goes, "Oh, he was all interested in that." And then I have like every concert, and so I ran soundboard engineer. I was a soundboard engineer for like the last part of my life career.
That's what my son does. He's a tour manager and sound house guy for all the
Yeah.
Devil Wears Prada concerts.
Yeah, I worked for Beaver Productions was the name of it. They were the big ones during the time. But Toby Keith, I went to school with Toby, and he's the one that got me my first in with him and running sound. But I like that's where the name comes from. Stiff Richard is an '80s rock band in Oklahoma City.
Now, where you live in Oklahoma City, are you close enough that you can just walk to stores there?
No, I live in Mustang, which is a suburb of, but it's all rural country out here. But
Okay.
yet, I mean, I'm like 3 miles from town, so. Yeah, I live right above the South Canadian River.
Like where I am in Montgomery County, PA, it's a zoo. Like where we are, this is an old neighborhood next to Evansburg State Park, but there's 850 plus thousand people who live in this county, and two-thirds of them voted for Harris.
How many people in the county?
850,000.
What? What county?
Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, 850,000 people live here.
Wow, wow.
And the average price for a new house starts at $1 million. People are
Hmm.
paying $500,000 just for a townhouse.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just
It,
nuts.
it's supply side economics,
Right,
supply and demand.
right.
They-
Wow. And
They're
they're probably not building a whole lot right now, are they?
well, they are building, they are putting developments in areas where they shouldn't because of water problems. I mean, any
Right.
piece of ground they can put a house on.
Oh yeah.
There's a factory a few miles from us on Germantown Pike called Superior Tube.
Hmm.
Well, the owners of the property sold off some of the ground. They put in townhomes that are 4,500 square feet that are going for $550,000, and they're all
Wow.
sold out. Can you even
Wow.
believe that?
No. No. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at doing the tiny home thing. I'm ready to downsize, man. I could live really comfortably. Well, I lived on a houseboat for about 10 years. So, uh,
I had a customer a few years ago the guy told me, I said, "Where do you live?" He says, "Wherever my boat is." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "I travel all over the world." Some guy, he
right.
made money in computers with something, and he said he made enough money that he just travels on his houseboat. He said once he had a problem and they had to be towed in by the Coast Guard, and it cost him over $100,000.
Oh,
Imagine
whoa.
that.
No,
The
I
guy must
can't
be
imagine.
loaded to have something like that to be able to afford that.
Yeah, you're doing good.
He
That's
was
for
near
sure.
Hawaii and something was going on and he couldn't get the boat back to shore and he had a radio in.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I've lived
Yeah, I
in this
can't.
area. I've lived in this area my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, me too. I was born and raised in Moore, so.
And in Pennsylvania, it's sad. Our population is on decline. Most of the kids get educated. They go to Penn State, become teachers, and they leave Pennsylvania because it's easier to get a job somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, Oklahoma has a hell of a time keeping teachers, man. They just need to get up with their pay.
And I know there's a lot of oil drilling. My niece's wife, she used to work for a company before they moved to. They left Oklahoma because of the earthquakes and tornadoes.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think
And
they sold. I think the house they bought that they sold, it was a nice looking house. I saw the picture of it. I've never been out there. I mean, way more affordable than anything around here.
yeah, here, yeah, real estate. Yeah, you can. What you're talking about up there, you can get here for 80,000 easy. You know.
And she made good money working for the oil company. She said it was fracking. She said every you park your car somewhere and they're doing fracking and there's just oil residue everywhere. And I
Yeah.
guess everybody knows oil's gone up in price. The other day, okay, I was holding off getting fuel oil delivered because I use that for my tractors. I could have gotten it for $2.68 a gallon. Then last night I go on the company's website, American Fuels. It's $2.79.
Yeah.
Then this morning, I don't know if they got my order processed because they're closed Fridays, $2.89 a gallon. We might see fuel oil over $3 a gallon easily Monday because oil was up 7.5% today.
Wow, didn't see that. Since you're going to talk about that real quick, there's you need to look into Toys R Us stock. Toys R Us have they're coming back again. They're going to be in Malls of America, I think is what it is. They're
I've
going to
heard
have
talk about that. Yeah.
27 flagship stores going to be opened within a year and a half. The stock is last. I didn't look at it today, but the stock went down. It was trading the high in the 52-week range. The high was 25 cents a share, and it closed down. I think last night at like under 2 cents a share. But their projection is by the end of the year, the stock should be sitting somewhere around $3 to $4 a share. But they're looking by the time they get all the flagship stores in, they're looking to come out at $9 a share. So.
But there's so much stuff to keep track of. About a month ago,
Yeah.
I heard about CoreWeave on Fox Business in the morning. It
Yeah.
went from $65 up to 80 some. It's up to probably $130 now.
Oh, wow.
It's too hard to keep track of everything. Okay,
Well,
everything was down today except for the defense contracting stocks. People were concerned about Lockheed Martin, how the government wasn't going to buy as many F-35s because they've had problems with those planes because the computers came from China, and Trump's putting a stop to that. So
well,
Lockheed Martin went down, but it went back up today.
also with Lockheed Martin, they're still doing the DEI hire shit.
Yep.
They had bonuses being handed out, and they had to rearrange that. Somebody up top said, "No, we got too many white people in here getting bonuses, and not enough ethnic groups getting bonuses." So they shit canned 18 white guys and give them to the the other whoever, Mexicans, blacks, whatever. But and so Trump is really not happy about that. That's the reason why all this shit's falling out of the air, man. Is you got all these DI mechanics that barely know what ratchet to use on what.
Well, Lockheed was making a big profit, and they said they're going to slowly increase their dividends. Then you figure Boeing hasn't had dividends in like over 20 years, and Boeing bought out McDonnell Douglas years ago.
Yeah.
And you figure what happened with that plane crash that hurt Boeing stock. Targa Resources is another good stock that was up today. That Targa Resources, TARGA Resources.
Okay.
That stock lost 20% of its value and is slowly coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is a weird time to be in there. I mean, in the stock market, it's what is that? EBT? Is it EBT? That's the electronic transfer of money app for Bitcoin and for crypto and cash, where you can send whatever amount of money worldwide within 4 seconds.
Another stock I've been watching, and I can't buy it because Vanguard won't let people buy it, is Railtown. There's a guy, William P. Farland. He's got a good he has a good channel about inexpensive stocks.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to share that link with me somehow.
Let me just find that.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track of everything.
Oh, I know it, man. I know it.
Microsoft had an all-time high just the other day.
Doesn't that just irk me? That irks me. I don't have it, but screw Microsoft. You know.
Well, the thing is, Bill Gates isn't even running the company anymore.
I know. And, hey, by the way, you said it. That's who the Democrats are going to try to run. They're already trying to pump him up. They're showing him to be this big philanthropist, or however you say it. I can't say it. But so he's getting all these sound bites and clips out, and they're trying to paint him like a good guy. So there was, for the example, there's like he was playing in a golf tournament, and his caddy, he caddied for him in the whole deal, and at the end of the match, Bill Gates, and he's looking for a big tip from Bill, he thought, and Bill shook his hand and said, "Okay, man, I'll see you next time," and thanked him, and that was it. No tip, no nothing. And so that caddy was all pissed off, saying, "What a dirtbag." Well, the next day, he gets a phone call from somebody in Bill Gates' organization, confirming that's who he was. He goes, "Well, Bill, I just wanted to let you know, Bill Gates took care of all your student loan debt today."
That sounds like something Trump would do. Trump. That's
exactly what Trump would do. That's exactly what he's trying to do, is be like that. But they're trying to paint him in this good guy.
I know.
And he's not. He's a dirtbag. Yeah.
Trump saw a homeless vet, put him in a hotel, and said he would pay for everything for a year until the guy got back on the feet. And they trained him, and the guy's doing well financially. Trump is how people forget. Trump got an award from Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton from having more black people work for his construction company than anyone in New York City. And now they hate the man. It's pathetic.
It's ridiculous. So there's a lady living in Trump Towers with her husband. He was, the big breadwinner, and he passed away. And there's no way she could, continue that way of life after he died financially. And so Trump give her free, let her keep her place in Trump Towers for the rest of her life until she dies. That's what Trump's about.
I mean, he's a good-hearted soul. Everybody loved him when he was on The Apprentice.
Yeah. No, Trump's he's the best president we've ever had, ever in history.
Yep.
Certainly in my lifetime. But no, he's a good man, and he does shit, and you don't hear about it. That's the difference. He doesn't need to be praised for his good deeds, helping people.
Do you know that Reagan was against tariffs? That's one thing I didn't like about Reagan.
I loved Reagan a lot, but I did not know that. But there was, I didn't agree with everything Reagan did.
Same here.
But for the time, look at our times. Look, who did he beat out? Who's he running against?
He beat Carter, and he beat Mondale.
Walter Mondale. Yep, exactly. And he was just a ray of sunshine after Carter. My God. Carter was probably a good man. He lived supposedly modest and all this, but his foreign policy, he's just a dirtbag.
He's the reason for what happened in Iran.
Exactly the reason.
So I remember I got out of high school in '79. The Shah of Iran asked for help, and okay, I have my doubts still about Carter with the deep state and everything. If we had just backed the Shah, we never would have had the problem we're having in the world right now.
Right. And then after Carter, then you have Obama go over there delivering pallets of cash.
Yep.
That's the reason why we're in this shit for real. But yeah, it started with Carter for sure.
I think it was $15 billion. Then all the money the Bidens gave them.
Yeah. Just good God, Yeah, that's the reason why we're going through this crap right here now.
Like I said, I was surprised at more of the oil stocks. I'll tell you another company I can't give anybody advice legally. One company I think is going to go up is MPLX.
And what do they do?
They're in oil.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, if they're in Oklahoma at all, I'm trying to tell you that all of our, they have like these oil field yards where they store pipe, they store rigs and all this, everything. They're all empty now. We're drilling. Okay.
Yep.
And when Biden was in, they were all stuffed full. They're selling off stuff because they didn't have room to put it. That's the stark difference in the oil field. So what was the name of it again?
I put it in chat. It's MPLX. It's a preferred stock. So your dividends get a special treatment. Now, Target Resources, which they're not a preferred stock, but that has gone, since I've owned that, it has tripled in value.
Where's it at now?
Let's see, because I pulled up sudden. Target Resources now is at 174.81 a share. It was up over 200 a few months ago.
Wow. Well, that's out of my ballpark, but yeah, I've got friends that can do it.
I think another one that I think is a good investment is Energy Transfer. It's a little less than $20 a share.
Yeah, I heard about that one. We've looked at it. As a matter of fact, David has it. My best friend that I was telling you about went to casino with, he lives in Arkansas and he also lives in Alaska. And his son has like the #1 dispensary in Alaska. And his son, you know, that show, oh my God, there's Gold Rush and Whitewater. There's Gold Rush Whitewater where they're diving for gold in the river. And then there's, oh my God, what's it called?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it.
I can't think of it. Well, they have like 3 shows. You got Gold Rush, and then you got where they dive off the boats. And he's down there on Vernon's boat right now. His name's Richie, and he was on. Matter of fact, he started diving. He was on the last year's show. Last year, that was the final year of the show. So there's no more Gold Rush, Whitewater, or what is it? Bering Sea Gold. My God, that's what it is. Bering Sea Gold. And so they canceled. There's no more Bering Sea Gold. So, but he's up there on Vernon's boat diving right now. But what I was going to tell you, we grew up together. He's a nuclear physicist. But growing up, I mean, he had eidetic memory, and he never had to study where I had to study before I could go out and play or whatever. And but he's smart as a whip. But yeah, he is all into the stocks.
Okay, one thing I like about, you can't avoid state taxes. With preferred stocks, you don't pay any tax on the dividends. You have to have so much income on dividends before you pay taxes on them with the IRS. Right. You don't have to pay any taxes on the dividend until you sell your shares.
Until you sell, yeah. So you're not paying until you get rid of it, until you cash it out. You don't have to pay any dividends. And so you can let it ride for as long as you want, right?
Yep. And companies like Energy Transfer, Sunoco, and MPLX, Sunoco's been down a few weeks. They're paying dividends of like anywhere from 6.8 to 7.8%. And I'll tell you you can't find out about it as much on Vanguard anymore. Another stock, because I use it through Vanguard, I told people before why. Another stock that pays a really good dividend is ASGI. It's one of these Australian Aberdeen equity funds. It's paying about a 12% dividend, 10 to 12% dividend every month.
Oh, whoa.
So let's say somebody has $100,000 they put in a stock like that. You can get to $10,000 to $12,000 a year income.
Yeah.
But you gotta pay taxes on it.
Right. Wow.
I mean, I'm just good at picking out stocks. I'll tell you this because you don't know a whole lot about me. My grandfather was a very famous economic professor in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, Dr. James L. Boswell.
Yeah,
he had people asking him about what stocks to buy.
Right.
And he told people what stocks to buy. You know how much money my grandfather had in the stock market? Zero. He said the stock market's if he had put his life savings in General Motors before the split, he would have been worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
In nowadays currency. He would never buy a stock. My father got into stocks, and I got into stocks, and my sisters and I got into stocks.
Mhm.
And it's debatable who knows more, me and my sisters. They're pretty good at investment.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I listen. You know, I keep my ear to the ground. So I made quite a large, uh, I made quite a bit of money on a synthetic liver stock back in, let me see, well, 2000 it would have to be, probably 99. Anyway, so it was X10.OB, or yeah, X10.Lobe, OB. And I bought that stuff at like 2 cents, man. And it's kind of sneaky way I did it. I was working for Cox Communications. I was installing their first, it was called At Home, their first high speed data. And uh, I'm under this guy's desk, and he's wanting to set up three routers, with this At Home, and we weren't there yet. And we didn't have a T line in. There's no way that even with the routers, he couldn't do it. But anyways, I'm under his desk literally. He had this big, huge desk, and multi-million-dollar home. But I'm underneath this guy's desk doing some wiring, and his phone rings, and I hear him talking. He starts talking about. He goes. I need you to be quiet. I got to take this call. And I said, okay. And so he starts talking to his buddy. It's his buddy. He says, man, he doesn't call me very often at all, but when he calls me with the stock tip, he goes, he's spot on every time. And so I'm overhearing the whole conversation. I get the call sign on it and everything. And so I've got a computer at home, not much of one, but a green screen. I guess we're still a DOS-based system, I guess maybe. And so I get digging on that stock, and man, I bought it. I bought that stock like 4 different times, but I bought it at 2 cents. I bought it at 25 cents, and but you had to buy it in blocks. You
Yeah,
couldn't
I
just.
know you got to buy
Yeah.
like so many thousand shares or 100 shares.
Well, no, you had to, like $2,500 was like the minimum buy on the
Yeah.
stuff. And so you have to buy it in blocks, but buying it at 2 cents, 6 cents, all kinds of stuff. And my whole family made a bunch of money on this. I mean, it was crazy. And that's really the only claim to fame I've got. Now, we had some
That,
IBM stock and stuff like that I held on to for a lifetime.
well,
And
there's a lot of YouTube channels. One
yeah,
stock everybody got excited about, finger motion. It got up to $4. Let's see what it's worth right now. It's worth only $2.11. And I bought some Trump media, and it's gone down in price about $260. Some people were predicting Trump media could get up to $88. Like it could or it couldn't. The thing is, you
why
gotta watch.
would
You
why
gotta watch.
would
Well, the thing is, the stuff is being shorted. People that hate Trump are shorting these stocks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, when it comes to stocks, I think it's better for people. It's okay. With hindsight, I wish I had bought more Palantir. I bought some of that, like 40 shares of that when it was like, I spent $1,000 on it. And now my shares of Palantir are worth, let's see, 40 shares of Palantir are worth $54.96 now. But my thing is, it's very rare anybody's going to find a stock that's even worth $1 or $2 that's going to increase.
Do anything. Yeah.
I
Well,
can't.
I like that towards our US stock. I mean, I'm looking at it, and you look back in their heyday. I think it was in '89. They were in 40 countries, and I forget what the market cap was on them at the time, but the stock, I think their the highest their stock has ever been was like $32 or $38 a share, and you're in 40 countries. I don't understand how that's possible.
It's because of so many splits. I'll tell you I can't recommend it. Okay, everything is a little too high now. I think if Applied Digital goes down, I bought that a little over $4 a share, and it's at 11. It's at 11.18. The thing, because you don't want to spend, you don't want to lose money.
No.
my thing is, if the stock's cheap enough, but if it's like a $25 stock, you might want to buy 40 or 50 shares. If it's a
Right.
$10 stock, you might want to buy 80 or 100 shares.
Right. Got you.
You got to look at the profits versus earnings. Like I said earlier, CoreWeave has skyrocketed. If it goes down, I think I might buy some. Even though that CoreWeave stock has gotten awfully high, the company's in debt up to their ears.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There you go.
I mean, I shouldn't say it because I'm just as guilty, but it's like you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket because half of what I have is in NVIDIA.
Right. So let me ask you this, and I know you probably don't use it, but I'm asking your opinion about like Robinhood. Now, Robinhood had a problem, I don't know, a couple of years back or something, where they halted trading on something because there's too much movement on that stock, and they shut it down.
That's just like what happened to AMC. Then another thing, I don't know if it's true. I've listened to radio shows on AM radio when I'm working. I heard a guy call in and said he had an account with Robinhood, and then he was getting emails. It's like someone it's the same like you get a fake email from Yahoo saying you got to give them your password.
Yeah.
And this guy got locked out of his account. I don't know if he ever got it straightened out.
So it wasn't a secure site. That's what you're saying.
It wasn't
And
as
you know,
secure.
huh?
It wasn't as. My wife gets them all the time, and I used to. You get an email saying it's Yahoo Mail. You got to sign in your account. Your Yahoo Mail account's going to be closed.
Right.
They're not. And the guy was dumb enough to do that,
Right.
and he couldn't get to any of his money.
Yeah, he just got hacked elsewhere, probably.
The thing it's not that he got. Yeah, it's not that he got hacked. He fell for the email, and once he gave them the password, they changed the password and username, and he got locked out of his account.
Oh, well, yeah. Huh.
Then
Well, my question though, but so I'm looking for like something I can go and buy, like minimum shares, penny stocks, and at the handy. And what other options do I have other than like Robinhood?
Well, you could. Okay, even if people don't like the company, it's one of the most secure companies out there, Vanguard. I don't like dealing with Vanguard, but I had a retirement plan with Dreyfus Liquid Assets, and the company went belly up, and Vanguard bought the retirement plan. This is in the '80s when I only had like a little over $1,000 in it. They bought it at pennies for the dollar, and
Right.
that's how I got started with Vanguard. Then I started buying Jenny Mae's. They're not stocks, but they're mutual funds. And then it just increased, and I got started saving money and buying more stuff.
Right.
But you're never going to get an email from Vanguard saying that you got to give them their password. These other companies, and then the thing is, look at it like this: people that hire, first of all, say you get involved with Charles Schwab or Fisher Investments, you got to have $500,000 to invest.
Yeah.
And then they take 1.5% of that every year just for their management fees.
Yeah.
Even if they don't make money,
No,
1.5%, that's 7,500.
that's just a losing proposition there, man. No,
And I've gone into my CPA, and this guy is a tax strategist. He's great. He won't give me any stock advice, so I don't even ask. Well, Copycat, I took that video down because that's not me, the muscle video. Well, the thing is, most stockbrokers, if you go to someone, you know who they go by, and it's a list you can't find on the internet. They go by Charles Schwab's top 40 stocks.
Yeah.
And it's hit or miss with them. I mean, before we had this downturn, I was getting a 25% return a year.
Right on.
That isn't bad at all. But the thing is, most of the stuff I have, I've got stocks in 57 companies, and none of these are cheap.
No, I get you. I'm hearing you.
You know, Apple, Abbott Laboratories, Advanced Micro Devices, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Oh man. Here you go. Can you read my T-shirt? I'm trying to get it.
The Ramones.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost you again. Yeah, at first I liked the video, but I thought that isn't really for me, copycat. I mean, it was nice Craig did an AI video of me, but that's really not for me. Well, you know what? I've been on an hour and I'm only using the free version of StreamYard. I'm not giving stock advice. I'm just telling people what I did. Because people can make money. It takes years though. It's rare that anybody's going to find a stock where they just get. It's very rare. I lost you. It's very rare somebody's going to find a stock. You know what the problem is? A lot of people want to become millionaires overnight. There's a lot of young people that bought stocks in these green solar energy companies, and they're going belly up left and right. There's ads on YouTube and Facebook. Oh, if you live in Pennsylvania, you can get solar for free. We got an estimate for solar because we put a new roof on last summer. It's not free.
No.
To get solar panels, my house, I have a modest house, 2-story, 2,111 square foot. We got estimates for solar, $42,000. And it's supposed to be free. And then if you want to, the solar is supposed to be free in Pennsylvania.
Hold on, Jim. In Oklahoma, that they've got a thing with like they're going to give Oklahomans free solar. There's another thing that they're going to give window replacement, roof replacement, all this shit. All those ads are bullshit. They're bullshit.
I know.
Unless they come with a state number, 800 number, 900, whatever, a state number that you can call them. You know, yeah, no, it's just they're. And why does YouTube and Facebook allow that kind of crap?
Well, listen, it's on the Pennsylvania government website, the solar provider. I contacted one, then I got like over a dozen estimates sent to me email on what it would cost. And just to get the Tesla battery, just to have a battery that stores electricity so the thing works if the grid goes down, that was only $600. Another company's battery was 11,000.
Yeah. I've got a friend that has a battery company like industrial batteries, Bulldog batteries, and stuff like that. He's selling them all the solar guys. That's where he's making his money. Used to even sell these batteries for like forklifts, and they changed that to propane. So in a lot of cases, so that kind of put him out of the business or hurt his business. Is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize. I don't. And by the way, Jim, I'm rambling a lot tonight. I've got a lot I'd like to. I'm excited to be on here with you. Number one, and then, but I'm rambling a lot. And it's the line, and so.
Well, I'm going to end it here in a minute because I still got to take the dog out and get a shower and do the laundry.
Well, I appreciate you letting me up, man. I've been wanting to for the first time you asked me, and. I'm good to go normally as long as it's not a full moon or a new moon.
Well, we just had the full moon the other night.
I know it just ended last night. What was weird about that full moon, strawberry moon, pink moon, whatever you want to call it? What was weird about it is we had 2 nights of full moons.
Because the way, where it was in nearest orbit, yep.
Right, it was weird, so it's strange, but yeah, it really affects all. And I'm in many Lyme communities and stuff like that, and have been for years. And it's not just like one person. I don't even have to look at the moon phase to figure out where I'm at. My body tells me where the moon is. And a lot of people have a hard time believing all this, but we're 98% made of water, man. And if that moon can affect the tidal waves, low tide, high tides. What do you think it's doing to us? And if you're chronically ill, what happens is all this bacteria in our body, it's either reproducing or dying off. Okay. And they bleed, they shit in our bodies. And that's why we're all sick on the moon phase, the new moon, full moon. So basically you have to, as a Lyme patient, you have to detox out for 5 days. You can't treat because you don't want to create any more die off in your body. So if you keep giving it medicine, you're killing more. And then, like you said, the moon phase is doing enough on its own. So yeah, you just got to detox out. But I apologize. I ramble. And so like if you had me on like next week or something like that, if we get on, I'd be a totally different person.
Okay.
I'd have a my train of thought would be much better, and I explain myself and a lot better. So
Well, it's good having you.
that's my hesitance.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm going to end the stream now. I'm getting thirsty.
I enjoyed it.
Water. Okay.
I sure enjoyed it. Tell Craig I said hi. Hi, Craig. And what was the other guy's name?
Mark B.
No, the blonde haired guy. That was you. It used to be the three of you on Craig's show.
Oh, Ken Yorga.
Yorga, yeah, Yorga. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't think. I love him to pieces. By the way,
we've all gone our own ways, is what it is.
Well, I know you have, and I didn't want to bring it up, but Craig came in the other night in your chat and was kind of like ribbing me and stuff. But I like Craig.
Yeah, Craig's a good guy. Then the thing is, in the winter and in the fall, I don't have a lot of time to do this because if I see a deer out here and it's close to the house, I'm missing a chance to shoot one.
All right, Elmer Fudd. All right, I'm gonna call you Elmer. You need to get you one of them Elmer Fudd hats out there killing deer. Well, I love it. I'm teasing with you, Jim. I'm just being sure. Hey, I feel you. I mean, that's a dilemma on that farm, and like down the road from me, on the river, we just lost a tree nursery due to that reason, the deer population.
I know.
Yeah, it's very sad. They've been here. Oh my God. Well, probably 60 years at least. I mean, as long as I've been alive, So
that's
anyway, I'll let you end it, Jim. Thanks for having me. Hello to everybody. I can't read your comments and stuff, but maybe next time.
Okay, thanks for everybody that participated. Have a good night, everyone.
Be well, brother.